Okay, so hi, good morning everyone. We are from Group 1. Today, our presentation, we will talk about the abuse of power and political corruption based on a case study of Park Geun-hye. Okay, now I'm going to introduce each of our team members and their contribution. Me, I am Siti Fatiha. For introduction and case study, we have Juliana Anisha. For key issue identification, we have Nur Alia Sharmin and Nur Aini Nabila. For key factors contribute, we have Joyce Winnie. Wee Yin and Cham Chai Ling. For application and theories, we have Chong Xing Yi. For suggestion, we have Yang Yaki and Win Helmina. For conclusion and reference, we have Nur Shafiqah Ayuni.
Hi, my name is Juliana Nisharinturhaisi. So I'll start with the introduction. Corruption is defined by Transparency International as the abuse of power for private gain. It harms democracy, development, and society. Common forms of corruption include bribery, misuse of public funds, and favoritism. This corruption can occur across both government and private sector and commonly associated with white-collar crime. Corruption can damage public trust, governance, business, and society. Next, I will pass to the next presenter that will discuss case study. Hi, my name is Jillian Anisha Winterhaisi. So this case study examines corruption and abuse of power that focus on former South Korean President Park Geun-hye. Park Geun-hye became South Korea's first female president in 2012. During her presidency, her close friend Choi Soon-sil, a private citizen with no official position, was found to have secretly influenced government decisions. Choi used this access to pressure major conglomerates, chaebol, to provide financial support for her foundation. The exposure of this abuse of power sparked nationwide protests, damaged public trust, led to Park Geun-hye impeachment and removal from office. I think that's all for my part. Next, I'll pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Juliana. Hi, I'm Aini and I'll be discussing the key issues of this scandal. I will start with the internal crisis, the abuse of presidential authority. Imagine a country being run by someone no one voted for. That is exactly what happened here. President Park allowed her longtime friend Choi Soon-sil, a private citizen with no official post, to have secret access to state affairs. Choi didn't just give advice, she edited presidential speeches and influenced major policy choices. This created a shadow government where public decisions were made in private, destroying the transparency of the presidency. But this wasn't just about the secret meetings, it was also about money. I'll pass it to Alia to explain more about it.
Hi, my name is Nur Alia Sharmin. So I will talk about bribery and collusion with chaebols like Samsung and Lotte. Basically, former President Park and Choi Soon-sil pressured big companies to donate large amounts of money to foundations connected to Choi's family. These donations were not really voluntary, but companies felt forced to give. In exchange, the companies received political favors such as approval for business mergers or duty-free license. So both sides benefited, but in an unfair way. Because of this, the public felt really betrayed. People believed the government should serve the citizens, not private interests. This led to massive protests called the Candlelight Revolution, where people demanded justice and change. In the end, this scandal had serious consequences. President Park was impeached and removed from office, which was a historic moment in South Korea. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joyce Wee Injo with matrix number BC250048. So why did the Park Geun-hye scandal get too out of control? It really comes down to big failures in the system down here. First, there was excessive presidential power, where in South Korea, the president has a lot of control that override the governmental systems. This hierarchy culture that exists in South Korea government has allowed her to make a lot of huge decisions without anyone being able to tell her no. Second, we have a very weak monitoring during that period. As you can see by the broken lock icon, the watchdog or the auditors of the South Korea government was broken. The system meant to be audit the government had a really huge loopholes, which is why this secret influence stayed hidden for years. The auditor basically weren't on the field. So Park Geun-hye and her friend Choi Sun-sil has hidden so many years under table. Basically, too much power and not enough supervision created the perfect environment for this scandal to happen. Thank you for listening.
Hi everyone, my name is Chan Tai Ling with metric number BC250608. Today, I'm going to talk about what's happening behind the scenes. It really comes down to two things: a secret advisor and a culture of big business deals. First, let's talk about the relationship between President Park and her friend Choi Soon-sil. This wasn't a normal friendship. Because Park was quite isolated, she relied on Choi for almost everything, mentally and emotionally. But here's the problem. Choi was a private citizen. She wasn't elected and had no official job in the government. Yet, because they were so close, Choi was able to secretly interfere in major government decisions. It created a shadow government. Instead of listening to official experts or ministers, the president was listening to her friend. Because this was all private and informal, it stayed hidden from the public for a long time. The second factor is the relationship with the chaebols, those massive family-run companies like Samsung or Hyundai. In South Korea, there has been a long history of the government and these big companies helping each other out. The companies would give donations or political funding, and in return, the government would give them favors, like lower taxes or fewer rules. Over time, this became a backdoor culture, and corruption became so normal and systemic that it was basically part of how business was done. It made it very easy for someone like Choi to ask these companies for money in exchange for government favors. So, to sum it up, while President Park was the one in the headlines, the scandal was actually driven by these hidden manipulators. It shows what happens when private friendships and corporate money become more powerful than the official government systems. That's all from me. Thank you.
My name is Chong Cindy. Next, I will highlight three theories that can be applied in this case study. The first one is state capture theory. This explains how private interests can influence state decisions to serve personal interests rather than public good. In this case, Choi Soon-sil used her close relationship with President Park to interfere in government affairs. She also pressured conglomerate to donate her foundation by using Park's status and authority. Next is principal agent theory. The citizens are the principal and the leader is the agent. The problem occurs when the agent misuses power for self-interest instead of serving the principals. This misuse of authority caused public trust in the government to collapse. And lastly, patron-client theory. A powerful patron provides benefit to dependent client in exchange for loyalty and resources. Park acted as the patron, while Choi as the key client, and conglomerate were corporate clients. Choi gained benefit through donation, while conglomerate obeyed to receive project priority and tax advantages. Together, this theory explains how personal relationships can distort governance and lead to systemic corruption.
Hi, my name is Yang Yaqi. Now we will start to talk about suggestions. For the suggestions, this case highlights the importance of stronger government supervision. By increasing the intensity of supervision, leaders are less likely to abuse their power. Transparency is also very important. When government decisions and records are clear and open to the public, corruption is hard to hide. Now my partner Mina will continue with the remaining suggestions.
Hi, my name is Anak Mangi, and I'll be talking about the next part of the suggestion, which is the anti corruption laws. It should be enforced strictly. Bribery and corruption must be punished seriously to show that no one is above the law. Fourth, government business connections should be limited. Reducing close relationship between politicians and large corporations can help prevent conflicts of interest and unfair advantages. Lastly, whistleblowers must be protected. By ensuring their safety, more people will be encouraged to report corruption without fear of retaliation. So that's all for the suggestion part. Thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Nur Shafika Ayuni binti Mustafa. Today I want to represent about the conclusion for the case study. The case study of the Park Geun-hye corruption scandal highlight how deeply entrenched abuse of power and lack of transparency can undermine the integrity of a national politically system. The main problem center of former South Korea President Park Geun-hye involvement in bribery, corruption, and the misuse of the presidential authority, largely facilitated through her close confidant, Choi Song-sil, key contribution factor including with oversight mechanism, excessive concentration of executive power, and long-standing tie between government leader and major conglomerate. The proposed solution, stretching institution check and balance, enforcing strict anti-corruption regulation, promoting transparency in government business relations, and expanding whistleblower protecting, aim to prevent similar abuse in the future. Overall, the case underscores the important equitable government and robust legal safeguards to maintain public trust and uphold democratic principles. Thank you. These all the reference that we use to done the case study report. And thank you for your girl for watching our presentation today. Thank you.